We are at the end of the year. 2025 has just completely flown past. And in this episode, I want to talk about what are the things that I learned in 2025, but more importantly, what am I taking into the new year? So it's been a big year. I feel like I've talked about it a lot on the podcast anyway, but a couple of big lessons this year was everything you do may not work out. I've had this lesson before, but I'm having it again. And it's an interesting one. No matter how hard you try to create things in your life that you want, it may not happen. And it's not personal. I don't take that as personal. In my relationship life, in my business, in my home life, there were things that I wanted that I couldn't make happen. No lack of trying, that's for sure. I overscheduled myself. I had too many goals, tried too many things, but really put a lot of effort into all of those. And, I mentioned this in the previous podcast, got to a point where I was like, everything I worked really hard for didn't work out. And I was like, that's really interesting. And for me, I don't take that personally because I think, well, it's not meant for me or not meant for me right now. And it brought me back to a quote that Peter Crone, if you've ever heard Peter Crone, he calls himself the mind architect. He's a lot online, but he said something once to someone which always stuck in my mind and made so much sense. He said, it was precisely what was supposed to happen. Why? Because it happened. I'm exactly where I'm meant to be because this is where I am. Right? And sometimes I think that, especially me anyway, I'm like, yes, create your future, create what you want, create your results. But there is an upper hand there as well at the end of the day that some things are not meant for you right now. Okay. And we've got to have trust and faith in that process, got to have trust and faith in the unfolding of our life, even though I want it to be different. Right. But to always remember, and I always remember this, no matter what happens in life, you can still be happy. We have innate well-being. We have this ability to be happy even if we don't get what we want. We're always moving towards happiness and well-being and homeostasis. So that's one big lesson. And, I talked about wintering and all of that. So I've talked about my journey this year. But on the other, side, we've had a lot of business success this year. It's been my biggest year in business ever, which is huge. And we've got more members in our program than ever. We've got more results, more testimonials. And the other big win here is my team. My team have worked really hard to serve everyone and serve everyone well. They've managed things while I was wintering and had downtime and have just, kept it all together. And I'm very, very grateful for them. So they're my wins for the year and some lessons. And then what I'm taking into next year. So this is kind of a bit more excited to talk about this. So I was listening, something popped up on my Instagram the other day with Esther Perel. She's a psychologist. You would definitely know her. And she was commenting on someone's post who said, I'm not anyone's priority. And people were saying, just love yourself more and whatever it was. But she was like, we have to create a village. You can't expect your partner to be a village for you, right? You can't expect, one person in your life to be a village for you. You have to create a village. And I really like this because depending on what kind of work you do, for my work, I work a lot from home. I'm at home all the time and I'm working behind my computer. I create a lot of content. I do a lot of group things, but still essentially I am behind my computer all day and I have decided I've had enough. I want to be doing something differently in 2026 in a sense of I want to build a village. I want to build a village for my personal life and I want to build a village for my business life, meaning that I want to start to do things that are more either in person, so in-person events or smaller events, in-person group events, working more closely with groups, doing deeper work. Okay, so really kind of getting that connection with clients that I work with and people that come into my programs and doing events, right? Bringing live events back. I think COVID shut us all down in our homes and we got so used to doing Zoom everything. And to be fair, my business was already well equipped for COVID. I was already doing those things. And so I've been doing this for a long time now. And so I want to do things differently this year. I want to build a village. So again, for my personal life and within my business, I think that, one of the things, it was interesting on this post that Esther did, I was reading the comments. And one of the first comments I thought was the best comment I had read. She said, the way you build a village is to be really helpful to others. to be the first neighbor that helps, the first friend that helps, and that's how, you build these connections. Because I think that in today's world, everyone's so busy and so preoccupied and not present that we're not aware that actually we're not really there as much as we could be for our friends or for our family or people that we respect, right? And that's how we start to create the village. And I was like, I really like that, right? My focus is going to be building villages in personal and business life, and in that way, creating a lot more satisfaction in life. Because I think for all of us, depending on how you work and how you live, life can feel really isolating sometimes. We can feel alone, and it shouldn't be that way, right? We're not creatures who are designed to be on our own, right? We're designed to live in community and villages and to have that support network on all levels, right? Emotionally, mentally, physically, financially, right? And so, but we have to create that. So that's kind of my goals for the 2026. And I think with the year that I've had, I'm going to allow 2026 to unfold, but I'm definitely feeling way more myself, and I'm happy for the end of the year. It feels like closing a chapter of a challenging year. Psychologically, I think, well, the next year, this is behind me, so everything in front is totally different. I don't know if it works like that. I'm picking the end of the year as a point that I think everything will magically turn around in my favor. But who knows? But I'm going to allow it to unfold as it's meant to unfold and enjoy this time of the year. But I hope that you do as well. And I would love for you to leave me a comment. I really would love, like, whether it's to the email that you get to this, or you can see this on YouTube, or you can have an ability to leave a comment below. What are your big lessons or big takeaways from 2025? And what do you want to take into next year? What's one thing that you want to take into 2026? Leave me a comment below and let me know. And Happy New Year.